Bam! And we are live. We are live, guys. What is good? I'm excited to be here, as always, for another week of the April Crypto Launch Series. Guys, this is episode number 4 of the series. All right, if you haven't seen the first 3, go ahead and jump on my YouTube. All of the links will be up there for the first series. We went over the bare basics of crypto, what it is, the important stuff like market cap, and then we went even into how to research coins, right? What to look for in cryptocurrencies, what kind of things I'm interested in investing in, right? And then last week, we dove super, super deep into Bitcoin. And this week, I'm super, super excited because we're going to be diving super deep, yet again, into one of my favorite crypto. I think probably actually potentially my favorite crypto of them all, Ethereum. Ooh, yo, where are my Ethereum bag holders at? Drop a 2 in the chat if you got some ETH. If you got some ETH. Drop some 2s in the chat if you got some ETH. Right, if you got some ETH. Woo! Jeez. I love it. I love it, guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. Questions are always super appreciated, guys. I love you guys' feedback. And yeah, we're going to be jumping into Ethereum. What's going on with it? I was so excited about it. You know, and what makes this stuff so awesome too, not just about the future of what it could cost and the potential, like the potential prices, what everyone wants to know, right? Yo, by the way, turn those cameras on. Yo, I want to see some faces. I want to see some more faces. What up, Marcellus? What up, Mama B? What up, Gyro? What up, Shadi? What up, Adam? What up, Jay Laws? What up, Angie? What up, Mondo? What up, Mata? What up, Nick? What is goody? Hey, old fam's here. What up, Chris? How we feeling? What up, Jamie? Hey, 5 figs. Let's go. EIP 1559. Oh man, they dropping all the sauce, guys. So let's get into it. Let's jump into it. Why are people so crazy about Ethereum? What makes Ethereum so special? And you know, why are we so damn bullish on this stuff? All right, let me share my screen. Actually, before I do that, let me pull some stuff up for you guys. While I'm doing that, I want you guys, I did this last week with Bitcoin, right? And I think this might be a little bit harder, but I want you guys in 5 words or less to put what is Ethereum? What do you got? What, like, if you had to describe to someone that's never heard of Ethereum, tell them in 5 words or less. What do you guys put that in the chat? Put that in the chat. What you guys think Ethereum is? What do we got here? Let's see some of these answers. Let's see some of these answers. Okay, what does the family think Ethereum is? Let's roll up a little bit. Liquid motherfucking oil. Someone super smart probably told you that one, Jared. Huh? Smart contracts, EV, gas, digital oil, cryptocurrency, smart contracts, a network, crypto safety, the base blockchain platform for a massive ecosystem of freedom. Woo! I like that one. GWEI, gas fees. My bad, digital oil. Yes, guys, you guys are very, very informed. You're very, very educated, right? So, what is Ethereum? A decentralized smart contract platform. There it is. Bingo. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Jason. A decentralized smart contract platform. But for half of you guys here, you're probably like, what the hell is a decentralized smart contract platform? Right? What the hell is a decentralized smart contract platform? So with Ethereum, yes, there's a little bit of technicals to understand. It's a little bit crazy. I get that. A lot of cryptos and blockchains are. So bear with me, guys. Bear with me here through this because I think some people, you know, I've spent hundreds of hours learning about Ethereum and understanding it. And it doesn't come like, oh, aha, like that, right? But when you get it, it's big, big stuff. It's a big, big deal. I always use the internet when I want to explain what these blockchains and what these things can do, because really, does anybody have a full grasp of how the internet functions? Could you explain to your mom or your brother or anybody? Could you explain to somebody how the internet works? And in fact, if you can, please go ahead, drop it in the chat or unmute your mic and enlighten us all. Because I'm sure nobody here understands how the internet works. And honestly, Nobody here really needs to understand how Ethereum works. You just need to know that it does, right? Ethereum is super, super awesome because I really think of internet like I think of Ethereum as essentially the internet 3.0. That's the way I look at Ethereum. I look at Ethereum and what it's able to do as pretty much the future of applications, the future of technology, the future of software, right? We're familiar now with applications, right? Everyone's got apps on their phone. You know, what's your guys' favorite app? Drop your favorite app in the chat. What's your guys' favorite app? What do you guys use? I freaking love MT4, MetaTrader 4, right? I love MetaTrader 4. Hell yeah, IG. I like IG too. Exodus, MT4, MT5, Cash App. We all investors and entrepreneurs here, so we all love money making apps, right? Which is why I'm actually super, super invested into DeFi apps, right? Because everybody here knows what MetaTrader 4 is, right? MetaTrader 4 is a place where you can go buy and sell things. You can trade. It's a trading platform. It's a trading application, right? And so in order to use MetaTrader 4, what do you have to do? You have to open up a brokerage, right? And in order to use, you have to sign into that broker. And for most brokers, you have to do a few things to get that brokerage account, right? You got to provide some identity. You got to put an address in there, you know. And so with MetaTrader 4, think if there was a MetaTrader 4 that you could use as an app on your phone that didn't require you to set up a broker, that didn't require you to verify your identity, and that anybody could use it whenever they wanted, whenever. It was free and open. And it was a trading platform that was open 24/7, could not be shut down, was not operated by anybody. Well, that thing exists. You know what it's called? It's called Uniswap. Uniswap is an application built on top of Ethereum, right? And so it's like when I'm trying to describe Ethereum to people, I don't even try to explain to them what Ethereum is first. I try to tell them what are the awesome things that can be built on Ethereum, because that's like explaining the internet. Well, the internet is this crazy thing where you can send information to people, you know, and it works really fast and awesome. You know, Ethereum is the same kind of thing. You can execute smart contracts. It's a blockchain. It works essentially. Yeah, but who cares? Who cares? No one cares what the internet did or what the internet was until we had Facebook, right? Until we had Uber, until we had Netflix. And so I think what's so awesome about Ethereum, guys, imagine if there was some sort of protocol, there was some sort of base layer, there was some sort of thing of the internet that was able to capture the value of all the applications built on top of it. Imagine how much that'd be worth. So that is exactly what Ethereum is because through blockchain technology, through, you know, cryptocurrencies, now we have a platform where you can build applications on them. And the whole point is that you can build applications that are decentralized, right? You can build a trading application like Uniswap that doesn't require any brokerage, doesn't require any trading institution, doesn't require any authority to run it. And it's an application that is essentially free and open for the whole world to use. Uniswap is just one example of an application that will be built on Ethereum because of how awesome and what Ethereum really does. Ethereum's main feature is called the Ethereum virtual machine, right? And that allows these things to work. So if you really want the ins and outs and the details of it, same way I could tell you TCP/IP protocol is what runs the internet, but do any of you give a shit about that? No, right? So we need to talk about the Ethereum virtual machine and how it works. Absolutely not, right? But what we will talk about, I think, is the future of the things that are being built on Ethereum, right? So I'm really, really interested in decentralized finance, right? Because everything we have in banking applications, like your checking account, getting loans, getting credit cards, sending and receiving money, we can all create in applications now on Ethereum that will not require a bank. That you do not need to use a bank anymore. And this is called DeFi. All right, let me pull up my screen and like let's go down the rabbit hole together and just let's learn about Ethereum, right? So now that you've gotten kind of my little spiel on explaining, I think what makes this platform so powerful, thinking of this as like the new layer of the internet. This is the new layer of the internet and the future applications that we're all going to know, love, and use every day, like Uber, Amazon, Airbnb. Those things are all going to be built on top of Ethereum, right? So that's the metaphor we're creating. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. And Ethereum is a platform, and what makes it valuable is all the things that are being built on top of the platform. Another interesting fact about Ethereum, guys. Ethereum did more transactional volume than Bitcoin did in 2020. A lot of people say, well, Bitcoin's not a currency. You never pay for your coffee and with Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin now is kind of transitioned, as we talked about last week, into being more of a store of value, something that you can park your money in. And it's not necessarily meant to be a day-to-day transacted thing. Versus Ethereum, the whole idea with Ethereum is making smart contracts. It's smart money. So an example of a smart contract, I think that's something really important to understand here with Ethereum as well. Let's just have Wikipedia do its thing and explain it to us in very, very simple terms, right? A smart contract is a self-executing contract with terms and agreement between a buyer and seller directly written into the lines of code. So this is a technology and what allows Ethereum to make these awesome apps is it uses smart contracts. Smart contracts are a very, very big deal. This is what allows us to take things like example of an exchange. An exchange is something where you just say, hey, you're buying this and you're selling, you want to buy this and you're selling it. Okay, here you guys go. We'll make you a deal. We'll organize it, right? And so smart contracts take normal things that are done through human agreements, and now we can put them onto a code. We can codify any sort of human agreements through code. It's called a smart contract, right? Here's a good example. You have two parties, they write up a contract, and generally you need a third party to execute that contract, such as a bank, right? Or a real estate agent, or there's so many industries where there's generally a middleman that is simply there to provide the convenience of organizing buyers and sellers, and they take fees from it. And so smart contracts, this is an example of a traditional contract. Let's see if there's a follow-up to that. There isn't here. Let's see what this smart contracts here. Here you go. Perfect, right? An example of a smart contracts. Bob wants to sell his house. John wants to buy the house. And so generally, a realtor is going to be, or a real estate agency is going to be here in the middleman. And they're the ones that are going to basically make the deal happen, right? But now through the internet and through Ethereum and smart contract technology, we can write this all up in a code and have no middleman, have no authority necessary. And you could do the entire thing digitally through a smart contract on Ethereum. Just one example, buying and selling a house, right? Like I was saying before, another great example is finance, like trading, lending, all these things, right? And so another huge example is selling art, NFTs, right? And there's so many examples of smart contract technology and what it can do for the internet and how it's basically going to change everything. So let's go back to learning about Ethereum. Let's see what CoinMarketCap has to say, see if I missed anything. We now hopefully going through that, when you're reading stuff about this being a platform with decentralized applications, that makes more sense to you guys now, right? Important thing to know, Ethereum was created by a dude named Vitalik Buterin. I don't know that's how you say his last name. He's some Russian genius guy, right? And if you look at this guy, he's like, he reminds me a lot of Mark Zuckerberg. Vitalik Buterin. And this is the creator of Ethereum. It's actually, he created Ethereum as a young kid when he was working on the Bitcoin. He was working on the Bitcoin magazine, I believe. And when he first came up with Ethereum, and he's like, wow, Bitcoin's super cool, but what if we could add more functionality to cryptocurrency instead of just buying and sending and receiving Bitcoin? What if we could add rules to that sending and receiving, smart contracts, right? And so Ethereum had a total of 8 co-founders. It's pretty a large amount. Actually, some of these other co-founders are now out there creating their own smart contract platforms similar to Ethereum, right? Charles Hoskinson's a very famous one who's building Cardano. Gavin Wood is also a very, very important one. Probably the second most important guy, and he's actually now building Polkadot, right? And so you can see basically some of the people, the original people who were building Ethereum and building this platform, have taken different ideas and made different implementations, but understand this idea of building the smart contract system, a baseline platform for the future internet. There's a reason why there's multiple smart contract platforms. There's a reason why people are so excited about the one platform that is able to succeed at this, because of the amount of value that will be captured on top of it, right? So I'm very, very excited about smart contract platforms. And so it's a good question that came up. So is the creator of ETH pretty wealthy based on the price of it? Yeah, you could look into, I know Ethereum Foundation has a lot of coins, and that's something you would definitely want to look into if you're considering investing into Ethereum. Who owns the coins? Who owns what? right? That's definitely something super important. And I'm not actually 100% sure with Vitalik Buterin's holdings and what he does. One thing that makes me very confident about this project, though, is this guy is not, he hasn't sold any Ethereum publicly that I know of, right? He hasn't dumped his entire stack like founders of other top 10 currencies have, right? In Ethereum Foundation, there's a whole list we can look. Let me show you guys the Ethereum Foundation. There's a humongous, now I guess kind of set up like a corporate structure now, basically a huge nonprofit organization supporting Ethereum and related technologies, right? And so this is a huge thing. Again, Ethereum is run in its primary by Vitalik. He's, I guess you'd say, the figurehead of it. But if you really look into it, how it's really run, it's run through the Ethereum Foundation, right? And so that's something you want to definitely look into yourself. That is something great to do as research before. But I really want to talk to you guys. I just want to make this educational and explain to you guys what this stuff is, what makes it so important. And like we talked about, it's a smart contract. We talked about how important smart contracts are. Smart contracts are computer programs that automatically execute the actions necessary to fulfill an agreement between several parties on the internet. And because we can now do this with code, with apps like Uniswap, Aave, Synthetics, we can now do these with an app. This changes absolutely everything. It completely instantaneously removes all the friction in buying and selling a house and trading and selling financial like complex financial instruments, trading options, trading derivatives, loaning, buying, lending, borrowing. Like there will be a dApp, right? That's the first terminology for it. It's called a dApp. It's a decentralized app. There will be a dApp for all of that, right? And so remember, guys, if you were, we've all witnessed this whole trend with the internet and someone making an app for something, basically anything, right? You need a ride, there's an app for that. You need someone to get you groceries, there's an app for that. Now imagine making all of those apps into dApps, and no longer is there's this comedian, there's no longer this conglomerate giant of Uber that really doesn't provide any real good for the world. Do you really think Uber deserves? I don't. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit of shit about Uber here. I don't know how much money Uber makes, but do you really think that? It's probably lots, right? What did Uber what's Uber worth right now? And I know worth is different than income. But Uber's worth $15 billion. Do you think an application that simply finds people who have cars and people who need rides is worth $15 billion? Or do you think our world kind of just finds value in people who are middlemen and kind of have a chokehold on something, which is what Uber does? Uber only service, only value that Uber provides the world is matching drivers to people who need rides. Why is that worth $15 billion? Well, it won't be when somebody makes a decentralized app that runs just like the internet, that runs just like Wikipedia, that runs just like Bitcoin, where anybody can use it. Nobody's really profiting off of it. And it just provides a general service for the world of providing rides. And so I think smart contract technology is so powerful because it can take things that have been for profit and make them just as a service for all, as they should be. Healthcare, education, right? Prison reform, lots of different industries. Imagine, I think the biggest application of a smart contract that I can really think of is something called the DAO. I call it a DAO, but DAO is DAO, yeah, is what the acronym for it. It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. This is what I'm talking about. This is the DAO was an organization. This is totally some bullshit right here, because the DAO is a word for a decentralized autonomous organization. So apparently somebody made one with the name of DAO, and now they're on the internet. So it thinks DAO is just one company that got hacked. A DAO is like saying a bank, right? If there was a bank called the bank and it got hacked, it'd be like the same result, right? But banks are banks, right? And a DAO is DAOs. And so a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization, meaning it's an organization that runs without any authority. The authority of it is decentralized. It's a self-executing, self-running thing, right? There's really not a lot of examples of DAOs because it's hard to create an organization of people without centralizing leadership. It's not until we have smart contracts that we can do this. And so I'm going to type this in. I don't know what this is going to hit on Google, but the biggest example of a charity to me, hold on, my brother's calling me. I don't know if he's on this call or not. Yo. Yo, are you going to be home tonight? I'm on the call right now. I'll talk to you later. Are you going to be home tonight? No. So the biggest example of a DAO that I can think of, and here we go. This article is probably going to talk exactly what I want to talk about, is creating something like a charity, right? So remember, we're making applications. They're decentralized, and that means that nobody runs them, and they're not intended to profit for somebody who creates them. It's generally intended to be a service for those who use it. That's what my definition of a DApp is, right? So imagine a Red Cross. Imagine the Red Cross. Unfortunately, guys, 100% of the money that the Red Cross raises does not go to its intended purpose, does not go to whatever cause or mission that it's currently funding. That's just the way it works, right? There's humans involved with Red Charity or Red Cross, and there's humans involved in every single charity. And therefore, a lot of those humans, whether I'm not trying to get into the morality of how charities work, but the facts is that 100% of the money does not go to the cause. Money that's intended, if I donate $1,000 to Red Cross, I would hope $1,000 would go to whatever I'm donating to. But unfortunately, I'm not going to put a number out there because I don't know. Somebody's going to take part of my $1,000 into their pocket. I'm not naive. I know that's how the world works. I know that's how those things work. And I don't think they should work that way. I don't think somebody should be able to run a charity as a business. I think a charity should only be set up in the purpose of raising funds for the cause. And there should not be a single dollar or cent that is lost. Why can't we do that? Well, we can now. It's called we could build a smart contract, and we could build a charity that was essentially a robot, right? A DAO is essentially a robot. We can make an organization, call it a charity, and have it completely run by code. And so that code would ensure every single dollar that was donated to it would go to whatever mission it was supposed to be going for. We would take it out of the hands of people and put it into smart contract. That's the point of Ethereum in this platform, and what these things can really do is we can take out the corruption of things that are supposed to be for good. We can take that, like, it's crazy because in the late 1800s, there's a huge issue for local small store owners that employees would rob the register. Right. And I'm not calling the employees bad. I'm not calling people who run charities bad. I'm saying, everyone's in a system where you need to get money. And some people, unfortunately, live not in abundance. And so they steal and they do what they got to do. They're putting food on the table. I'm not here to judge that. But what happened was there was an invention in the late 1800s called the cash register. And what that cash register did is it locked the money in the cash register. And you know what that did? That solved that problem entirely. It solved employees stealing from the owners entirely. Why? Because it's not about making people better. It's not about telling people you can't do that. It's about taking that out of their hands completely. Now they can't steal. And that's the whole point of like creating a charity like this, is it would take the power and the ability out of humans completely. It would take it out of their hands. And so nobody could rob these charities. Nobody could steal from these charities. Nobody could be misintended if they wanted to. Right? And so again, it's reducing administrative costs, logistic costs. And what this stuff does, by taking power out of authorities, taking power out of middlemen, this gives more back to the people. Right? That's why I'm so crazy bullish about Ethereum, because the potential of this for the world, of creating a platform like this, of being able to create dapps like this. All right, so now let's bring it back and let's talk about what's going on right now. Let me pull out the trading view chart, because where Ethereum's at right now is we're at such an exciting point. And honestly, this is the cryptocurrency I recommend to people more than I recommend to them Bitcoin, right? I think where we're at right now, being, we actually rebounded pretty hard. We were under $2,000 the other day, which was a steal for Ethereum. Let's pull it up and let's do some technicals, and let me show you what's coming up, what's coming up for Ethereum. right? And so you're like, damn, Ethereum sounds lit. It's this application where it's this platform where we can build applications on, and all the applications that are going to build Ethereum is going to make Ethereum way more valuable, right? Last thing about Ethereum. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot this. Super important. What makes Ethereum token itself so valuable? Because if the platform is valuable, it doesn't necessarily mean the token is, right? And what makes Ethereum's token so valuable is in order to run these smart contracts, in order to use the platform, you have to pay in ETH. You have to pay with Ethereum token. You have to pay in Ethereum. So that is why when I ask people what they think Ethereum is, some people said digital oil. That's what gives it its moniker of digital oil, because similar today in the manufacturing economy and the producing economy, every single product that you have and you can see, your clothes, your laptop, your phone, every single thing that you can see in your room, the walls, everything, there was oil used in the production of that, right? Oil runs all the machines, it runs our cars, it runs the trucks. Where the oil is the super most important resource in our economy and for making it run. Ethereum, you can look at in the same light in terms of digital economy, in terms of this new digital world. The entire DeFi system, right? You can go to DeFiPulse.com. This entire system of these are financial apps. DeFi is decentralized finance. This is only looking at the financial apps. We can see the total of all these financial apps. There's $57 billion locked in. Change. That number just keeps rising. Again, we've been in DeFi for almost a year now. And it's been great to us. But we can see all these apps built on Ethereum, right? All of them built on Ethereum. In order to use these apps, in order to transact on them, in order to make a trade on Uniswap, in order to get a loan on Aave, you have to use ETH. You have to use ETH. So that's why people call it digital oil, because to run this digital world and to run these dapps, you need to pay in ETH, right? And so what's looking at Ethereum technically, you can see we're in a bullish structure here. Let's pull it out and let's zoom into the cycles. This chart doesn't have a lot of data, but in 2017, Ethereum took off just like every other cryptocurrency did. It ended up peaking out in January of 2018 in the craziness of the alt season that was right after Bitcoin's high. And then we came back here, pulled back, and now we're on another leg up. And as we can see, we're just starting to break these previous highs, taking us into our infamous price discovery regions of cryptocurrencies where, you know what? There's not a lot of technical analysis we can do, given that there's no structure over here. We've never been here, right? So I don't really focus on technical analysis in these educational sessions because, like I said, I think it's very limited in its scope, especially for a very developing market. But as you can see here in the last year, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, you had the opportunity to buy Ethereum under $100 for even about $100. And sheesh, what an opportunity that was, right? And as you can see, like every cryptocurrency, things are just on a rise. But let's bring it in here more short term here, things to look out for. And guys, the trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. Ethereum is bullish. There's no reason for us to be bearish on it, right? And the structure is making higher highs and higher lows. This is our last higher low for me on the daily time frame. And so given where we're at here, as long as we don't break 1400, as long as we don't break this last purple box here, the structure is going to remain very bullish for me. But as we can see here, if you follow smart money concepts, you can see us just stepping up and walking up these ladders, bouncing off old accumulation zones before going higher. And as we can see here, we're bouncing off the previous accumulation that had us stuck at 2000. And we've rallied off that today and yesterday. Basically, since this week, on Monday, we started that rally. And we're trading today at $2,300. So looking at this 4 hour, this is about the farthest I'll go zoom in here. Again, we rallied off that zone and we're pushing back up there. We're going to just have to see here tonight if we're able to break this high, right? And obviously breaking this high is then another higher high, and the trend is continuing. And my short-term price targets, guys, because I'm talking about the way I trade cryptocurrencies is buying and holding. And I have a few videos on my YouTube of what I look for in buy and holds, how to trade these coins. So go look for that information on the YouTube. But I've been buying and holding Ethereum for a long time, and I intend on holding it for quite a while. And I'm really excited actually short term for Ethereum, because I think Bitcoin might be potentially cooling off, and Bitcoin might be continuing to correct for the next couple months. And it's something that we've been watching for a while, guys. Something that we called out, and we had to wait a little bit. We had to wait a little bit in here, but Bitcoin dominance is continuing to fall. It's continuing to fall. And that means that other altcoins are taking more of the market share. And as if we go to coinmarketcap.com, we can see that the number one altcoin in the world is Ethereum. That's why we're talking about it, right? Ethereum is worth $274 billion. Sheesh. Bitcoin's still holding $1 trillion, right? And so for Ethereum, right, being as the biggest altcoin, when Bitcoin dominance goes down like this, that means Bitcoin's losing the percent of the market that it dominates. So of the entire $2 trillion market cap, we can see that Bitcoin right now today is about 50%. It's about half. But as we've been seeing this year, seeing Bitcoin dominance drop, this is why we've been positioned in altcoins so heavy since the beginning of this year. This is why January was a great year for us. This is why March has been a great month for us, because those altcoins are continuing to rise. And Ethereum, guys, Ethereum is the leader. Ethereum is the leader for the altcoins. So if Bitcoin is going to chill out and Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to drop, our next target being under 50%, that signals for Ethereum to rise, and Ethereum signals for the whole rest of the altcoins to follow. Ethereum is the leader for altcoins. So like I said, technically we're waiting for that breakout short term, and long term, medium term, next couple months. Something I really have my eye on, guys. Right now, the one thing that limits Ethereum today, it's not too bad actually. Today it's not too bad. The gas price today, as you can see, Ethereum gas prices. So like I said before, Ethereum apps require you to use Ethereum to run them, to trade on them, to do whatever they do. You need Ethereum, guys. Who here has paid more than 3 figures for an Ethereum gas fee before? And they're like, man, that's me. That was me. That was me. Yeah, if you've ever used any Ethereum applications, you know that, guys. So how this works today. Ethereum can be expensive because we're talking about a completely open and decentralized platform that you can trade on, that you can lend on, that you can earn interest on, that you can do NFTs on, that you can do supply chain on, that you can do all these crazy things on. Right now, Ethereum and the blockchain technology as a whole, we're in like the dial-up stages of crypto, right? If you guys remember dial-up, you're like, your sister would pick up the phone when you're on the internet and you get cut off and you're like, damn, get off the phone. Or you're on the phone and your brother's going on the internet and your phone call starts, like you're hearing doo, 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 doo. I lived through that shit. I remember that. Right. And imagine if you would have thought back then that, oh wow, this Ethereum thing is never gonna work. It's too slow, it's too expensive. No one's gonna use this. Imagine how dumb you sound now. Right? That's the same thing that people are saying, oh, these ETH fees, these gas fees, Ethereum's too slow, it's not going to scale. It's the same thing that they're sounding like right now. And so if you don't know, what I'm saying is that Ethereum is right now, yes, kind of slow. And yes, can be expensive. Sometimes if Ethereum fees are $5, $10, $15, $20. Sometimes they're $100, $200, $300 for one transaction, for one trade or whatever. And so one thing that Ethereum is going through, these are good problems for Ethereum. These are good problems. It's called, growth problems, right? We're having growth problems. Same with the internet, good problems. It's too many people are using the internet. It's too slow. Okay, well, guess what? Eventually they figured out how to make dial-up to the point now we have 5G and you can video stream this from your cell phone sitting in your truck in the middle of a field. Right? So obviously internet has scaled a tremendous amount because of demand, and there will be demand for Ethereum, and it will scale, and that's what I'm super excited for, because Ethereum has a lot of exciting upgrades coming out. Ethereum has a lot of exciting upgrades. ETH 2.0. ETH 2.0 will change Ethereum forever, and we're starting to see those things come out piece by piece. There's a few projects that are doing a few Ethereum apps. They're actually dapps built on Ethereum just to solve this problem, not even offering any other service. They're just dapps to help scale Ethereum. So we're starting to see a lot of different applications, a lot of different solutions and attempts at solving this problem. And so that will be the trend going forward with Ethereum, is watching this thing come up, watching these network upgrades happen, seeing how that price reacts. But there's one super, super important upgrade that I'm really, really looking for. Yeah, Uniswap V3, right? Loop ring, Polygon. There's so many Ethereum solutions to to the fees and to the slowness of Ethereum right now. The biggest one I'm looking out for, because it's not only a fee, because here's the thing, guys, when Ethereum does upgrade, when Ethereum does become faster, what does that do for everything? For every application? Every application becomes faster and cheaper. So imagine when there's no fees on Uniswap, when you can just buy it and you can scalp the shit out of forex market through synthetics by trading synthetics forex contracts, and there's no fees. Imagine when you can take loans, you can deposit money and get interest with no fees, fast, instantaneously. So Ethereum scaling and upgrading helps everything on it. And of course, it's going to boost the price. It's going to make the product better. But there's one upgrade that's coming out that actually completely changes the economics of how Ethereum works. And I argue it's probably one of the most important things that have ever happened in cryptocurrency, because I don't say that often. I think this Ethereum upgrade, what I'm talking about is not ETH 2.0. ETH 2.0 is coming. But what I'm talking about is EIP 1559. EIP 1559. This is honestly, other than the Bitcoin halvings, see the Forerunner mod tab. Yeah, if you got runners, you know they're beast, right? I have a huge list in there. But guys, let's get back. I'm so dead ass. I am so dead ass when I say EIP 1559 is one of the most important things that have happened in cryptocurrency. This is just as important as a Bitcoin halving. Just as important. This EIP 1559 completely changes how Ethereum works. So part of ETH 2.0 is switching from Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake, meaning that you can now stake your Ethereum in the protocol. Meaning if you have Ethereum, you can put them you can lock them up in the protocol, and that's actually how the network will be verified. It used to be verified through mining, like we talked about last week, and they're changing their verification to how like I said, not important to understand. You don't need to know how the internet works to use it. You don't need to know how Ethereum works to use it either. But for those people really, really interested, yes, Ethereum will be switching to staking, meaning that now the protocol will run by people staking their tokens, not mining them. And so one of those changes that we have coming up before that, Ethereum 2.0, because Ethereum 2.0, it's going to take some time for it to come out. Most estimates are within the next year, maybe even 2 years, right? So EIP 1559 is so, so important, because this is actually one of the first examples of a community created proposal. That's what EIP stands for. It stands for Ethereum. What's the I stand for? I know proposal. It's something proposal. Someone help me out in the chat if you know what it is. But EIP basically means it's a community created proposal. And what this proposal wants to do is it wants to change and help solve the fees. Ethereum Improvement Proposal. There we go. That's what that stands for. Right. And this is something that they want to upgrade in July. And so a lot of cryptocurrencies, guys, to tie this into the technicals, I can wrap this up. A lot of cryptocurrencies will rise in speculation of major events like this, which is going down in July. And so if we look at the technicals, we look at that time frame of being in July, right? We can see that it looks like the next couple of months could set up for some big growth. But back to EIP 1559. What Ethereum EIP 1559 wants to do is it wants to change just a major function of the network. And I don't want to have this recorded as a mean to understand how Ethereum blockchain works in the full technical words. But what this really does, guys, this takes Ethereum from being an inflationary token to a deflationary token. It makes Ethereum from an inflationary token to a deflationary token. So it changes how Ethereum network works. And what I believe is actually happening is now they will start to burn Ethereum. It will start to burn Ethereum in every single transaction. Why is that a big deal? Inflationary, deflationary, what the hell is that? Why is this a big deal? So currently, Ethereum is an inflationary token, meaning they make more of it every single year. The US dollar is an example of an inflationary token, inflationary money. They make more US dollars every year. Guys, what happens to the value of the dollar year after year? What happens to the value of anything year after year when you continually make more of it? It goes down, right? This isn't complicated stuff. When you create more of something, there's more supply. Now the demand is okay, well, you can just make infinite of these. But what happens when you do the opposite? When you actually start decreasing the supply of something? And Ethereum is very exciting because Bitcoin is a deflationary currency, right? There's only so much Bitcoin. And the amount of Bitcoin that comes out is less and less. But Ethereum's going to one up that. And they're going to actually start destroying Ethereum. Binance does something similar to this. They're going to start destroying Ethereum. What is that going to do, guys? If you need Ethereum to run these dApps, and all of a sudden they're starting to burn Ethereum, that's going to make Ethereum more scarce. Is this something that's dramatically just going to change overnight? That price now is also just going to go through the roof in one day because they turned this upgrade on? No. But if you've been around, if you study cryptocurrencies, what's the 12-month effect? What's the 1-year effect of Bitcoin having? Of Bitcoin changing the amount of Bitcoin that comes out? Usually takes about 12 months, 12 to 18 months. But as a response, the market skyrockets. It's 4 out of 4 times. 4 out of 4 times when they change the amount of Bitcoin that comes out, the price skyrockets the next 12 months. So what do you think is going to happen when they change Ethereum from inflationary to deflationary? All of a sudden they start burning ETH. Yeah, it's coming from the fees. They'll be burning ETH from the fees. Yep. What do you think that's going to do to the price? What do you think that's going to do to investors who hold Ethereum? What are you going to do that think that's going to guys, economics 101. If you make something more scarce and the demand we only know is going to increase, guys, this is the future of the internet. This is internet 3.0, and now the token is going to become more and more scarce. Guys, you are so ahead of the curve. You're so ahead of the curve by being on this call, by investing 50 minutes with me. By the way, thank you. Grateful for you guys' time. I really do appreciate it. It means everything to me. By you guys being here on this call and investing the 50 minutes you have into learning about Ethereum, you're further ahead than 99% of people. 99% of people have no idea what Ethereum is and how it even works. 99% of people don't understand this ETH token is super, super valuable to this whole crypto world because you need it to run these dApps. And so give yourself some credit because we're so freaking far ahead of the curve. Like I said, I think I see Ethereum this year short term. I really don't do this very often because I don't like hype. I don't like the meme coins. I don't like the hype. I don't like creating the wrong expectations for people. I don't want people to think, oh, crypto's all about just buying this coin and getting rich tomorrow. You know, I want to give you guys the right expectations so you can continue to hold your bag, so you can continue to build through the bag, so you can survive the next bear market because it's coming. It's coming, by the way, right? Like I said, I don't do this often, but I do see Ethereum over 5 figures really soon. Really soon. Especially with EIP 155 number coming out in July. There's going to be, I think, a huge speculation run up in the next couple of months of people anticipating what that's going to do. And beyond that, you know, the success of these upgrades is really, really dependent on the future price potential, you know, the multi-year price potential, but I'm very bullish. And the facts of the matter is there's no, of all the crypto smart platforms and of all the development happening in cryptocurrency, there's no hotspot out there like Ethereum. Ethereum has the most amount of developers, has the most users, has the biggest community, and it has the most potential, in my opinion, to really, really build some amazing, awesome stuff. So that's where I'm invested, right? And I've told this many, many times, guys. It's not necessarily about getting the gold, but understanding, you know, if I invest into selling shovels and shovels and wheelbarrows, right? Investing in the infrastructure. Ethereum is the infrastructure for the future digital world. The token itself is digital oil. They're about to make it scarce. EIP 1559 again in the last time, I think is literally the most important event to happen to cryptocurrency since the Bitcoin halving. Like this changes everything economics wise. Most people, most investors will have no idea, won't care to put the 50 minutes in to understand why a deflationary token for a smart contract platform is such a big deal. But that's what puts you guys ahead, right? So Ethereum is literally one of the tokens I don't plan to sell all of my Ethereum probably ever. And it's on the status of Bitcoin of projects I want to hold and keep for a long, long, long time. There's nothing else in the market other than Bitcoin and Ethereum that I'm probably going to hold through this cycle. And that's exactly why with this crypto launch series, I wanted to go into just the important stuff as basics, the important stuff to know as an investor, and the two most important coins to invest in, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guys, really, if you keep your investing simple, if you keep your portfolio simple, and you just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, you don't have to jump into the whole other world. You don't have to jump into all these other coins. With these two alone, you're buying digital gold and digital oil. In 10 years from now, man, I'm not a financial advisor. You can't sue me. This isn't financial advice. I'm not a licensed trader. Past results don't guarantee future results. But fucking A, if Ethereum's out, yo, just take that. Like, I'm not making no income claims, but like, I'm super invested, guys. Like, super fucking invested. Right? I'm not telling you guys to do things I don't do. Majority of my wealth is in those two assets. So that says it all. I appreciate you guys so much for your time. I hope you guys got value out of this series. I hope you guys want to rewatch this series. I hope you guys want to share this series with people too, guys. So, you have people in your team that say, what the hell? I don't understand cryptocurrency. Where do I start? Send them this series. I'm going to make this series a playlist, right? There's 4 episodes. That's 4 hours of just nugs on nugs on nugs that will get you up to speed of what is crypto, how to invest in it, what's Bitcoin, and what's Ethereum, the most important stuff. So I'm going to end the recording with that. I appreciate you guys. You already know, buy Bitcoin, short the banks.